Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful gift basket using a serving container. It's super easy to make and it is a great gift to give away to your family and friends. Let's start with the materials you will need. You'll need a foam cushion with a 1-inch thickness, some cotton pads, the square ones, and a round serving container. Velvet fabric, I'm going to use deep coral color. Rhinestone strip from the dollar store, some cardboard, golden glitter wrap, a cutting board, utility knife, scissors, B7000 glue, hot glue gun with lots of glue sticks, and this is all you need to make the gift basket. So let's get started. Firstly, we will measure the foam we need. So wrap the foam around the container to get an estimate on how much foam is needed in length and height. Make sure that you do leave ½ inch extra foam at the top. Using the container, mark the length and the height on the foam. The marked lines will visually guide you while cutting. Do make sure that you're using a cutting board underneath so the table doesn't get scratched. Use the utility knife to cut the foam into a straight line. You can try to make it as straight as you can, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So the foam should wrap around the container fully with no gaps. We're going to hot glue the container to attach the foam to it. So make a straight line with the hot glue to attach the foam through the whole height of the container, making sure that you are leaving that ½ inch of extra foam at the top of the container. Hot glue all around the container and wrap the foam as seen. Make sure that you're making the bond securely, so push in and hold in until the glue is dried up. So you should end up with something similar to this. The bottom is a bit messy, but we're going to fix that right now. But before that, we need to attach the two ends of the foam together. So hot glue one end and then squeeze those ends together and hold until the glue is dried and the bond is secure. Now, because the base of the container is a lot smaller than the top, we're going to be applying hot glue in stripes. So here I'm going to apply 3 stripes equally distributed, and then we're going to slowly push the foam into it and leave these wave gaps in between. This technique ensures that all around the base of the container, the foam is equally distributed. And we're going to repeat the same process over and over again until the base of the foam is securely connected to the base of the container. Make sure that when you're gluing the in-between wave areas and connecting the foam to the container, that you are taking your time and holding the hot glue for it to bond. If you leave it too early, the foam will eventually separate from the container. You should end up with something looking like this, where the foam is securely attached to the container all around, no loose ends. Next, we're going to use some cotton pads. I'm going to be using the square ones because they're a lot more easier to attach instead of the round ones. So they're not that thick, just enough softness to kind of eliminate the hard surface of the interior of the container. So we're going to add hot glue and then attach these pads as seen here, and we're going to go all around the container and cover as much area as we can. Like I said, the purpose here is just to give it a bit more padding inside as well, but not too much. So the interior of your container should look something like this. Everything covered up. Next, we're going to cut up the fabric. So here I'm using a deep coral velvet fabric. We're going to wrap the fabric around the container like we did with the foam, just to get an estimate of how much fabric that we need. I'm going to wrap it around and then I'm going to mark it with a pen with how much I need in width and height. While measuring, you have to take into account the base as well as the interior of the container. So here I am estimating with my fingers how deep the base goes inside. Make sure you mark that as well, and then we can go on to the next step of folding the fabric and cutting it up. So with the 2 marks that you made, you get an estimate of the height and width of the fabric that you need. So that's what we're going to cut. So I did cut across the entire length of the fabric. We're just going to keep the amount that we need to wrap around the container, but we will keep this small piece of fabric because I will need this later on for the exterior and interior of the base. Apply hot glue to the base of the container and then attach one edge of the fabric. Then bring the fabric around the container. Now at the other edge, we're going to fold the fabric. So glue one end and then fold it because we want a nice smoother finish. And then glue on top of the attached fabric. Now pull the fabric so you know where the center is, and then attach the center of the fabric across where we attach the edges, and then repeat the same process again. You want to pull the fabric, find the center, and attach it to the base of the container. Again, this is to make sure that the fabric is equally distributed across. We don't want too much fabric in one space and too little in the other. Once the base is attached, now we're going to attach the interior fabric. Pull the fabric inside the container. Make sure it's a nice firm pull with no extra fabric hanging. Apply hot glue to the top of the container sides and then pull the fabric to securely attach. The edge of the fabric that we had earlier folded, we're going to fold it the same way here again and attach it over the other end to make sure that it's a nice clean close. Same process all around. Make sure that everything is attached and the fabric is fully closed. Once you have that done, you'll notice that the center is not secured. So we're going to add glue to the base of the container and then gradually take the edge that's not folded and attach it to the base, and then as needed make sure the fabric is fully attached. And we're going to go around and do the same thing all over slowly. We're going to take our time, make sure we're pushing the fabric down at the sides and attaching it securely over on top of each other. When you reach the end where we had the fabric folded, we're going to apply hot glue across the length of the fabric and attach it to the side, so we do close up the fabric around. Next, I'm going to use this ribbon circle as a guide. This is a perfect fit for my container for the interior and the exterior of the base. So I'm going to use this to cut circles from the cardboard. Use a sharp utility knife to make the cutting an easier process. So we should end up with two circles the same size. The extra leftover fabric from earlier, we're going to use here for the base. So I'm going to cut the fabric in halves, and then I'm going to use some of the foam to attach to one of the bases using hot glue. So I'm going to attach it as seen here. And then once the glue is dried up, I'm going to cut around. So flip over the foam side and attach it to the fabric as seen here, and then use glue to gradually attach the fabric to the base. So we want to make sure that we're pulling the fabric nicely, and you want to take it slowly, make sure everything is covered up. As you can see, we do have a lot of excess fabric, so we are going to cut off as much fabric as we can, since this is going to go inside the container and we already have a lot of fabric inside the container already. We want to eliminate as much as we can. Add hot glue to the edge, and then we're going to securely attach it inside the container. Again, press on until the glue is fully dried. For the exterior base, we're going to repeat the same steps, excluding the foam. So we don't want any foam cushions here. We're just going to use the fabric, and we're going to attach it around and cut off the excess fabric and apply glue at the edges again, and then securely attach it to the base of the container, holding it until it dries. We're going to decorate the basket with some rhinestone strips that I got from the dollar store. Using the B7000 glue, we're going to apply the glue as seen here and attach one end of the strip. Repeat the same process diagonally across it and attach another strip. And then we're going to repeat it for the other two ends as well. So in total, you'll have 4 strips. Now, taking one of the strips, we're going to apply glue to the end, and then we're going to pull it across as seen here. So we're kind of creating this dangling effect, but we're also gluing it. And we'll repeat the same process for the other strip right next to it and take it in the opposite direction. So they kind of go on top of each other. Repeat the same steps again with the remaining 2 strips. This B7000 glue is really strong, but the only shortcoming is that you'll kind of have to hold the glue to the fabric for about 30 to 60 seconds until the bond is secure. Now take a piece of cardboard. I've removed one side of the cardboard so it's easier to make into a circle. We're going to measure out the base. Now using the golden glitter wrap, we're going to measure the amount that's needed to wrap around in front and the back of the cardboard. We want to cover it fully. So measure it so. Really similar process to how we cut up the foam and the fabric. We're going to apply hot glue to the cardboard and then attach the golden wrap, and we're going to fold it over on the other side as well to create a nice neat finish. Make sure that we are attaching the edges fully. We don't want any of the edges to open up since we are folding it. Now to break the cardboard, we're gonna repeat this motion seen here. Attach hot glue to close up and make a circle. Apply hot glue to the edge like so, all around, and then place it on the base of the container and push in until the glue is fully dried. To take it a step further, I'm going to add in some chocolate, some goodies. I'm going to lay it over the base of the chocolate, add more chocolate in to fill in the gaps, add different kinds of chocolate to give it more texture and more color. And here you have it, the perfect gift to give your family and to your friends for any occasions. You can never go wrong with this. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you've reached up until here, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like, and comment. I would love to hear your feedback on how you found this tutorial. And if you've made your own gift for someone special, please share the results with me. Until next time, goodbye.